9 in 10 Americans believe this country is facing a mental health crisis. The latest CDC data shows 49,000 people died by suicide last year. That's a record high.
As the government vows to address the issue on a large-scale level, what might we be missing in our own families and social circles that could save lives? 10 on your side, Stephanie Hudson is looking into the signs of suicide. Stephanie?
Our teens, our grandparents, these are two groups that are at higher risk for suicide. We've also witnessed clusters of suicide in our local military members. These are our family members, our coworkers, and our friends, which means that we can all benefit from learning and looking for the signs.
I am so tired. I just can't get out of bed. I can't think, and I'm so tired.
At the age of 21, Mary Crutchfield didn't know why she felt that way. She only knew she didn't want to feel that way anymore.
It wasn't sadness. It wasn't me crying. It wasn't getting emotional. But I had a lot of suicidal ideation, and I was tired.
Now, a psychiatric nurse, Crutchfield credits another nurse with saving her life.
She leaned over and she put her hands on my knees. And she said, I want you to look me in the eyes, and I want you to know that this is called depression, and it's treatable.
The number of suicides in the U.S. has skyrocketed in the last 2 years, climbing higher, Dr. David Spiegel says, than during the pandemic.
I think the pandemic did one of two things. On one hand, it isolated us from other people, but at the same token, our families and who we got to spend actually more time with, and now we don't have the same support level.
Experts explain it's similar to what happens at the holidays. Suicide rates tend to go up just after Christmas, once family and friends leave and it's back to life by ourselves again. Social isolation is why older people in general are at higher risk for suicide.
You are losing family, you are losing friends, you are losing employment, so you are a lot more by yourself.
Social media, the doctor says, is why teens are increasingly at a higher risk. Cyberbullying and body image issues are driving many mental health disorders.
People with less support, less coping skills, tend to commit suicide more impulsively because they think at that point there is no way out.
So how do we protect those at risk? First, know the warning signs. People contemplating suicide may talk about wanting to die, being a burden. They may be feeling hopeless or trapped and may act differently, using alcohol or drugs more, giving things away, making a will or saying goodbye to friends, feeling anxious or nervous, sleeping too much or not at all.
We can really prevent a lot of what's happening to people emotionally if we reach out as a community.
If you're concerned about what you notice,
hey, I've noticed that you're really distracted lately and I've really missed seeing you. Is there something that's going on that you want to share with me?
If you know a loved one has depression, write out a crisis intervention plan they can carry on their phone or in their wallet. It should include warning signs for suicide, emergency numbers, including 988 for the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, what not to do, that is alcohol and drugs, and what to do, lock up weapons and pills.
So this way you just make it a little bit harder for someone who all of a sudden on an impulse wants to harm themselves.
Often that is what it takes to save a life and put a person on the path to recovery.
That's kind of incredible that you can have that power as another human being and not even really know it.
Now, the doctor says the most important thing for suicide prevention is support. Having a good counselor or doctor is helpful, but so is group therapy and 12-step programs for those battling substance abuse. If you don't know where to start, I put links to resources on wavy.com. There's also information there about the Out of Darkness walks to prevent suicide. The first is happening this weekend at Mount Trashmore in Virginia Beach. Stephanie Hudson, 10 on your side.